Greetings
Hello.
and salutations.
From your favorite Fox Debate podcast. We're actually going
Because
to
we are
restart
the
the intro.
only.
I'm going to restart
Wait,
the
this is the
intro. I
intro?
forgot to say. Okay. Okay.
Gee.
Here we go. Here we go. Shame. Okay, we are going to be recording it. And okay. Welcome, guys, to the new first episode of A Podcast Divided. I'm Daniel, and I'm a Cubs fan.
I'm Andy, and I'm a person who's also a Sox fan, who's also happier mentally than the guy on to my left.
Yep. And this is our Cubs White Sox podcast after the intro. Okay. I'm going to cut it there, and that's going to be like the intro. So,
All right,
okay, guys,
poggers.
we're back here with Andy, and yeah.
That's it. That's we only two people, Daniel.
Yep. And we're going to be talking about some baseball here. So, I mean, first of all, are you excited for the new season?
As a Sox fan, I'm excited and nervous at the same time because anything can happen. La Russe is gone, which I'm very happy about.
Let's go.
Yeah, I thought you were rooting against me. But
I hate words.
yeah, I mean, he was the coach of the Cardinals and the White Sox,
him.
so I can see why.
Let's walk him on 0-2. Let's go.
Yeah, no, that was great. And then the next guy hit a home run. But whatever, it was the Dodgers anyway. We wouldn't have won, but still, I can't justify that amount of buffoonery.
Yes.
But yeah, La Russe is gone. We got a new coach that the White Sox said that the interview went amazing. So I'm excited for Pedro. I'm excited for Benintendi. And but I'm excited for a lot of these young players. I hope that Eloy's going to be healthy. I hope that Robert's going to be healthy. So if everyone's healthy, then I think we're going to have a good season. Maybe make it into the playoffs.
Yeah, I feel like the Cubs are definitely a World Series team.
For sure, yeah.
I mean, I'm very optimistic about this new season.
Yeah, pretty delusionally optimistic. I agree.
I mean, the only really scary thing is that Suzuki is hurt. So, I'm expecting him to hit 350 with 55 home runs. So
55? I'd say 155 at least. And and 350, I'd say like 5,000 average at least for him.
Yeah, I mean, all the money we have spent during this season, or during this off season,
yeah,
it's gotta pay off. And if you look at what happened last year, I truly believe that we could have been at a 500 record if we did not go on a few bad losing streaks. Because if we had played the same way we did at the end of last season, what would have happened? We would have had at least a 500 record. Well, think about it this way. We've improved since last year. So I feel like the ceiling is over 500 and into the playoffs.
Yeah, no, as a person with logic, I would say that the Cubs will not be doing anything crazy, and in my opinion, I think they're going to be a team that's slightly below 500, not good enough to get into a playoff spot, and but also at the same time not bad enough to get a high draft pick. So I think this is going to be a waste of a season.
A waste of a season. Do you really spend over $200 million, close to $300 million, on a wasted season?
Yes.
Only if you're the Cubs, right?
You got 3 players, and all 3 of them, besides, 3 players that actually have a name attached to them.
Let's see. Bellinger was an MVP.
Yeah, 3 years ago. Now he's horrible.
He's still the same player, and he's pretty young. He's in what most people would be in their prime right now.
Yeah, exactly. Chris Davis was a great player, and then 3 years after his reign, he got dropped basically.
because I feel like people are talking about Yelich and saying, "Oh, he might be good next year." Yelich and Bellinger are in the exact same situation. Why are
both of them are
people not
bad
optimistic about Bellinger? I feel like if
because
people were being real, then Bellinger is an MVP, is the same amount as Yelich is an MVP.
I agree. None of them will get MVP. I think both of them are going to be mid. And my prediction is that Bellinger gets injured mid-season.
Mid-season. That would be sad, I have to say.
That would be
What about
great.
Dansby Swanson?
Dansby's your only good player that you got
Dansby
in the
Swanson.
offseason. But he's still not
But
like the best shortstop in the league. He's not top 3. He's not
I
even
say
top
he's
5.
top. I'd say he was top 3 in free agency for shortstops.
Now, let's go to free agency shortstops. Hang on.
Yes, because I feel like well, Correa might be. I guess you could say Correa is the best free agent shortstop from this offseason. But I feel like also after Correa, it's let's see, who's the second best shortstop in free agency?
Trey Turner is number 1.
Trey Turner, exactly. Trey Turner, Carlos Correa, obviously better than Swanson.
Yep.
But is Xander? I'll just say
Xander.
Is Bogarts
He is, in fact,
better?
better than Dansby Swanson.
Let me tell you, Bogart's stats.
All right, I can't wait to see
I don't
this.
think they're going to be pretty. Oh my gosh, they're actually good. Okay. Okay, so last year he batted .307 with 15 home runs.
Okay.
Let's talk about Dansby Swanson here. I feel like Swanson had more home runs.
Mm-hmm.
I have to verify that. Swanson batted .277 with 25 home runs. However, we have to put into account that Swanson played a lot better defense. So I feel like he brought a lot more wins to the Braves than Bogarts did to the Red Sox, which I feel like is even more important than just playing, like just hitting for a high average, but everything else is just sad.
So basically defense is probably about 1/5 of stats that people pay attention to, like 1/5 of stat categories. So basically you're saying that 4/5 of Dansby Swanson is just sad.
No. He had more home runs than Bogarts, first of all.
Okay. And what about average?
Also, smart baseball people would argue that defense and offense is actually defense is more valuable. I don't remember who said this, but I remember reading it in a baseball book. And if you think about it, half of baseball is run scoring, half of baseball is run prevention. But but like half of the run prevention is defense. So if you think about it, Swanson is providing 75% of the team.
All right. Well, I have to contradict that with looking at the Philadelphia Phillies. As we all know, they're just like they're slapping defense in the face. They don't care about it, and they're only caring about offense and pitching. And look at them; they made it to the World Series, and they buffed up their team like crazy with the addition of Trey Turner. So my prediction is that they will win the World Series this year.
Well, I like that you bring up the Phillies because I think that the Phillies are a good example of what the Cubs' ceiling looks like this season.
Oh, come on! You've got to be kidding me.
Think about it. You know how I said
Think about
nothing,
Cubs... dude. Your team is mid.
You know how I said that could possibly be at 500 last year? Well, with the additions, I mean, Swanson's WAR is 7. Swanson could bring them to 89 wins, which is how many the Phillies won, and which is how many wins it took for them to make it World Series.
All right, well, because what's WAR wins above replacement? Who was Swanson's replacement shortstop?
Well, the thing is, it's kind of weird because technically Horner, but Horner's still going to
Johan
be
Camargo,
best.
let's see, Orlando
So
Arcia,
you're
Vaughn
going to have
Grissom.
to say Madrigal.
Yeah, no, these people that Swanson, these backups, they're not that good.
So that's why well, no.
That's why his WAR is so good.
We're talking about he's never played for the Cubs. We're talking about his Braves statistics here.
Exactly, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, you're talking about. I was gonna say we don't have Orlando Arcia. Okay, I got it. So let's look at his defensive stats though, because I've heard a lot of good stuff about his defense, and to be honest, I feel like. Also, you're talking about the Phillies, right? Who's Kyle Schwarber? He's the guy who batted. How do you spell Schwarber?
Schwarber. He was a Cub for like 5 years. What are you doing?
I'm a big fan of him, not of his jersey. But anyway.
Oh no.
I only got it after he got traded because I'm 50% off. But so Kyle Schwarber batted .218, but yet he had 46 home runs.
Yeah.
You're talking about a guy who everyone celebrates and who brought the Phillies partially to the World Series. Why is Swanson bang? Yeah, I need like a lot of stats pages. Why is Swanson batting 277 with 25 home runs, not equivalent to a lot more home runs, but a lot less production in accordance to singles, doubles, and triples? Why do those two not equal out, and why is Swanson not receiving the same amount of love? In addition, we are not talking about defense. Kyle Schwarber, although I really like him, especially before when he was on the Cubs, but Kyle Schwarber, I have to face it, he's not good on defense. He was supposed to be a catcher, but he didn't even – he wasn't good at it. He's more of a hitter, let's just say that. But
I agree, but people are giving a lot of hype to Swanson. Like they're saying that he is a top 5 shortstop, but no one's saying that he's going to be an MVP shortstop like Turner and Correa and all these other guys because because he won't. I mean, he's okay. He's not great. Like he's a good shortstop. He's definitely your best player.
Is that an issue?
I mean, he's okay at everything. Like I'm not dissing the guy. Like he's got a lot of home runs. He's got good average. He's got good defense, as you said, but none of it is great.
I mean, to be honest, I feel like we have the best middle infield in all of baseball.
No, you don't. No,
Warner
you
and
don't.
Swanson turned a double play in the second inning of the first spring training game, and they're already off to doing better than Tinker, Evers, and Chance.
Cool, they did their job.
I just need to write a poem about them now.
Okay, I'm looking at CVS MLB top 10 middle infields, and number 10. I didn't review this before. I just looked it up right now. But number 10 St. Louis Cardinals, number 9 Houston Astros, number 8 Twins, number 7 Padres, number 6 Rangers, number 5 Braves, number 4 Mets, which makes sense because Jeff McNeil, Francisco Lindor, that's really good. Number 3 Red Sox, and tied for number 1 Los Angeles Dodgers and the Toronto Blue Jays. The Cubs aren't even on the top 10.
Wait, where are you looking at?
CBS MLB.
CBS MLB. Okay, I'm going to pull this up. One thing I will say, though, while I'm pulling this up, is that star players are not the key to success. Okay?
Yes,
you look
they
at
are.
The Angels.
Well, that and
you've got the 2 top players. Some people would say, these are like the best player and like the top 5 player. And the second guy is in a sense, and he's supposed to make over $500 million after this season. And they are Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani. Now, are the Angels better than the Cubs? Not even close. Are
I'd say
star
they're the
players
same.
the key to making a good team? No. So although you say Swanson, he's our best player, that's so sad. Well, if you think about how much average players that are actually worth a lot more, and in a way, that's actually really smart by the front office. So clap for Jed Hoyer and former GM Theo Epstein.
Okay, so let's go back to the comment where you said that the Angels are definitely not better than the Cubs, nor are they as good as the Cubs. That's what you said. Let's
Yes.
let's go to the record book since I know the Angels had like a horrible losing streak. So Angels record that happened to be. Hang on, I got it right. 2022. Let's see, 73 and 89. Now let's go to the Cubs.
Yep.
It's 2019. Dang it. Okay. There we go. This probably has it. 74 and 88. The Cubs had one more win. Just one more than the Angels.
Last season?
Yes.
Actually?
Yes.
Okay. But we improved a lot.
So did the
Did they
Angels.
improve?
Now let me okay, let's look at the Angels free agency signings.
Yep.
Let's just go to Angels off season. I know they got Gio Urshela. They got Hunter Renfroe.
Great. We got some washed up superstars. Let's go.
So did you. Patrick
Dansby
Sandoval.
Swanson is not old.
Now
How old was
that I
Dansby
think
Swanson?
about it, yeah. Now they got Duke Hussein, who I think is going to be really good. Tyler
Dansby Swanson
Anderson.
is 29 years old, just so you know.
Yeah, but what about Bellinger? He's washed as a whale.
I feel like Bellinger has a lot of potential.
I don't think so, man. I don't. Don't get your hopes up on him.
Like, he's 27. How can he be washed up? At 27, some people are just starting
He's
to
been
make
washed
a name
up for like
themselves.
3 years.
Washed up by age or washed up by talent and skill?
Talent.
So would you really make the case that Cody Bellinger is a failure?
Yep.
Got it. Okay, then. That's... I don't know what to say about that one, but I mean, I feel like on Bellinger, we're more trying to hope for some good stuff. Done. Oh, let's put the microphones on there. There we go. Guess microphones, guys. I don't even know what where that QR code goes to. So
It's the FBI.
yeah. Yeah, they'll deliver us our microphones. Yep. I'm actually very curious about this QR code. I'm gonna go to it. What the heck? It just brings you to restream.com.
Oh.
How are we supposed to get our microphones?
I don't know.
That's sad. Oh well. Well, I guess we don't get any microphones. Put that off.
Whatever. Who cares? Now let's talk
Anyways.
about. Let's talk about White Sox now. I'm excited for one player in particular, and that is Jake Burger. He's very underrated. He's been doing so poggers in spring training. He's got like 1 billion home runs.
Yeah, let's check that.
Yeah, all right. Let me just draft a player since I'm drafting at the same time as I'm doing
so
this.
Jake Burger last year batted 250
last year,
with 8 home runs.
Yeah, and he played like 20 games, like when Mikado was out.
51 games, and he had 168 at bats, and I'd say 500 is a full season. He had more at bats than people did in like 2020, for example.
Let's go to Jake Burger. spring training.
His career
stats.
batting average is 252. And also,
Pretty good.
let's put that into comparison with Nico Horner.
Okay, yeah, no, I'm not saying that Jake Berger is better than Nico Horner.
Nico
But,
Horner.
okay,
Let's
look at 2023.
Yes.
Okay, let's look at Jake Berger's spring training. Let me just draft another player. Let's get JT Realmuto. Okay, so Jake Berger's spring training, he has had 14 at bats, 2 runs, 5 hits, which makes it 357 average and on base percentage, 2 home runs, 3 RBIs, and an OPS of over 1,000.
Impressive. Now, how many at bats is that?
14.
So, well, first of all, 14 at bats is a really small sample size.
Exactly, but I think Berger should be. I think okay. I think this is what the White Sox got to do. They just got to like scrap Moncada. I don't think he's gonna amount to much, if anything. And then
I just like to point out
Berger.
something really quick.
Huh?
I'd like to point out David Bote. He has hit 625 with a home run in spring training and an OPS of 1.825.
Cool.
8 at bats, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
He's 5 for 8. But I think he will end up doing better than your Berger in spring training.
I don't think so. Berger's the man. And let's go back to Moncada. So
yes,
in his spring training, he has had 9 at bats, 1 run, 1 hit, 0 home runs, 0 RBIs, 0 stolen bases, and his average is 111. On base percentage 33, OPS 5.55. Yeah, I know he's not doing good. Yohan Moncada is not the guy.
And just from the sample.
Yeah, no, I don't think we should bring him up. And if anything, we should put him on the bench or maybe at second base. But I think Andrus is better. So I think Berger should be third base, even though his defense isn't the best. But just from the sample size of Jake Berger, I think he is that guy. I think he'll have over 250 average, possibly 20 home runs. I think he'll make a name for himself this season if the White Sox do the right thing and put Berger at third base or shortstop.
Well, that definitely is an interesting claim. However, actually, as you were talking about third base, it kind of sparked my interest about Justin Turner, who I believe should have been put onto the Cubs squad. I don't know why I said it like that. I believe the Cubs should have signed him. He signed for he signed a 2-year, $21 million contract, but I mean, I think it's definitely a $10 million a year contract would definitely be a very good idea to solidify the Cubs' third base position. And I would make the case that if they sign Justin Turner, we would have a great infield.
Don't you already have Patrick Wisdom?
Yeah, I think Patrick Wisdom is an interesting player. So he broke Chris Bryant's rookie home run record in half a season in 2021. Okay?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's really good. And this is Chris Bryant's all-star MVP season. It's everyone's like, let's go. Chris Bryant's amazing. No one even knows who's Patrick Wisdom is except for Cubs fans who like him and White Sox fans who hate him. Okay?
Okay.
So I feel like he doesn't get a lot of support and he should get more, but I also think that he is not as reliable as you might think because last year, well, first of all, his strikeout percentages have always just been tough. Like I remember being at a game and it was in Milwaukee, and I was right next to the Cubs dugout, and I just remember seeing him strike out, and then he was like when he was walking back to the dugout, he was like staring kind of in my direction, so I saw his face, and he was just like slamming his bat, and I was like, man, that doesn't look so good. But then I also remember in 2021 at Wrigley catching, or not catching, I caught Ian Happ home run Ian Happ that home run that game, but I didn't catch the Wisdom one. It was to my left, but that was a great moment when he hit a home run. So in my 2 experiences with him, you can see the good, which is the long home run. You can see the bad, which is the 4 strikeouts in the game, and we're going home losing 5-0, and Stroman got pulled out after 2 innings, and yeah, it's pretty sad. That's what could happen.
Okay, so now let's go to the White Sox pitching staff, which would be Dylan Cease, Michael Kopech, Giolito, Lynn, and Clevenger. Now, I think Clevenger, the deal with him, he's disappointed White Sox fans even before he pitched a single pitch. But, he went out and said, think whatever you want about me, just do that. Just think whatever you want. I'm still here to pitch for you, and I'm ready to make a name for myself. So, I think every pitcher besides Dylan Cease really raises a question. Because obviously Dylan Cease has solidified himself as just a Cy Young candidate.
Yeah.
So yeah, like Michael Kopech, will he be good? Giolito, will he bounce back? Lynn, is he too old to pitch? Like, is he too old to put up big numbers?
You guys still have that guy, what's his name? Who was on the Giants? I can't think of him.
You can't think of him?
I'll get back to you. There's a White Sox pitcher. He was on the Giants before. He has like long braided hair. He throws like 3/4.
Hang on, I'm looking at the White Sox roster here.
He might not even be on the team anymore.
Yeah, Clevenger, no.
Clevenger.
Yeah, that's what I was just talking about. Clevenger. Yeah, no, he was on the Padres.
And he also might be on the prison baseball team in a minute.
Yeah, I was just talking about that. Like Clevenger, he could possibly be innocent. No one knows with that stuff. Like, just like Bauer, he could be innocent. Like, you never know with these players.
Yeah, also I would like to say that on all like instances of charges against players, I think there's also a side of it that's very biased in the sense of, like, for example, Julio Urias. Like, I found out about this recently that he literally was in a very similar situation. No one talked bad stuff about him or anything bad like that. No one really did anything like, oh my gosh, we need to ban Julio Urias, this horrible man. I'm going to protest if he comes onto my team. He won the World Series and he was celebrating, and everyone was like, this guy's awesome.
Yeah, no, everyone loves Julio Urias.
And Trevor Bauer, I think he is MLB is kind of happy to remove him and just say you're bad because if you recall, I was actually a fan of him in like 2020. And he had a series of like he would make a vlog every day of his games on the Reds, and I thought that was really cool. But I remember there were instances where like MLB people would tell him like, "Hey, you're not supposed to be showing all this stuff in your vlog. Be careful with that." And or like with his merch, people were telling him, "Don't wear your own merch. That's not allowed." And so I feel like MLB's fed up on him, and they're using all their anger, and they're just putting it on one reason instead of putting it on the main reason that they just hate Trevor Bauer.
That and 2 other things. There's been a lot of reports that he's just like not a good teammate in the locker room. Like, he lowers morale a lot, and And he's a Dodger. Like he's an LA Dodger. Like I feel like when he was a Cleveland Guardian or a Cincinnati Red, people liked him a lot more than when he was a Dodger because everybody hates the Dodgers. Everyone wants them to lose, and everyone just wants them to like go and rebuild because no one wants to see them anymore.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Also, I would like to look at the Cubs pitching rotation and comparing it to the Sox rotation. I will admit the Sox have a better pitching rotation.
Thank you.
However, I feel like we have better offense and defense, but we are not talking about that right now. We are talking about these 6 guys who 5 of them should be on the starting rotation. So we have Jameson Taillon, former Yankees pitcher, signed this last season for like $40 million, something like that. Big investment on a mid pitcher, but I think he's actually going to be pretty good.
Whoa! You just admitted something, did you? You just called your best pitcher mid. That's what I said, and you were like, no, he's not mid. No, he's the best pitcher ever. And now we have footage of you saying that the Jameson Taillon, aka your best pitcher, is, and I quote, mid.
Yeah, he did have a 3.91 ERA last season.
That's not good. That's almost a 4 ERA, and that's definitely not something to brag about.
I mean, he has been like Dylan Cease's career ERA is 3.56. Taillon's is 3.84. Taillon has had more seasons done. He's had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's had 6 seasons. Cease has only had 4. That's a small sample size. And if you put into account that Cease has just recently become a good pitcher, his results, he would pretty much have a way worse ERA. If you took out last season for Cease, his first 3 seasons were ERA 5.79, ERA 4.01, ERA 3.91. Last year 2.20. To be honest, I feel like that could just be an outlier. And next year we see a 3.91 ERA, and the White Sox.
No. Cease is young. He exploded right out of the gate, and his mentality is perfect just the way it is. Dylan Cease is here to stay.
But why did he have 3 seasons of horribleness?
He was young. Like he didn't know what he was doing most of the time. Now he's here. He has experience. He knows how to. He's improved a lot of his pitching. He's dirty. Like he has some great stuff that has improved way much over the years, and now it's only improving with him. Cease is only on the up and up and up.
So, are you saying that you'd be surprised if he pitched to a 3.91 ERA, which he has done at least to that, if not a lot more, in 75% of his career? But yeah, it wouldn't be surprising.
I wouldn't be surprised. I would be shocked if I see Cease regress to the point of what you are saying.
Because to be honest with you, is it really that drastic to say that he goes back to how he pitched back when he was just? Well, I mean, 2021. How long ago is that?
That was 2 years ago, but we all know that Cease didn't have the experience. He wasn't, you could argue that he wasn't MLB ready. He was the 5th string pitcher to a really good rotation. And Cease just didn't have the stuff that he has now. He didn't have the experience that he has now. Like he didn't have anything that he has currently right now.
Yeah, and also about the Cubs rotation, we went a little bit about but if we do look at the Cubs pitching staff, we have Taillon, who I actually think he's pretty good. Marcus Stroman. Okay. who was an amazing pitcher. Okay, I have a story about Marcus. Back when the Cubs were playing the Mets, I remember an announcer saying, "Man, Marcus Stroman's tomorrow. This is not going to be good. Oh no, he's nasty." And then he was injured for that one game. He had to miss it, or he was like sick or something, and arm injuries, and he missed. And we didn't have to hit against him. And I remember thinking, like, man, we don't have to play against Stroman. Let's go. He went to the Cubs. No one cares about him anymore. I think he is the number one most underrated pitcher in the MLB, and this is his breakout year, along with Seiya Suzuki, mind you.
All right, let's go to his stats. Let's go Chicago Cubs, Marcus Stroman. Let's see what we have here. Man, let me just draft some more players. Let's draft Jonathan India. Poggers.
Jonathan
All right.
India.
Okay, so Marcus Stroman, 2023 spring training. I can't lie, he had a great game, 2.08 ERA. But let's go to the 2022 regular season. 3.50 ERA, that's not much better than Tyone. 6 wins, 7 losses. Only 119 strikeouts, and a WHIP that's actually pretty okay.
Which season are we?
We were talking about last season.
About?
Last season,
Gotcha.
his first season in a Chicago Cubs uniform.
Thank you, Cubs Center, for putting that comment. I know Andy appreciates that comment.
Aren't you Cubs Center? Oh, got you there. Yeah.
So
you don't have no comeback to that, do you? Jeez. Zero comeback.
Just for some comparison, though, our final pitching players are Drew Smyly, which I applaud the Cubs.
No. Drew Smyly on any other team, including the Cubs, to be honest, has has the potential to just be switch out basically every week from MLB to the minors. He's not good.
That's an interesting remark, I have to say. Considering if I tell you his stats, you will be surprised in a good way.
I can't wait to hear his stats. I want you to look up his stats for yourself.
I did. So, well, one thing. People bagged against him 0.73 in 2021.
Okay.
In his career, people bagged against him 0.047. I don't think this is correct.
Yeah, me neither. Okay. Let's see his actual stats. So, let's point out his spring training game. Mind you, this is against players who are barely going to make the league or who are going to make the minor leagues. So he has, in his one game that he pitched, he lost. He pitched 2 innings with a WHIP of 250 and an ERA. Are you ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
Of 9.
In 2 innings?
In 2 innings, an ERA of 9.
So you're talking about 2 innings and you're saying that's the type of pitcher he is?
I'm not saying that's the type of pitcher he is. I'm just saying, like what you said about Jake Berger, that's a very small sample size. I agree. But
I'm actually
let's go to the 2022 regular season. ERA 3.47.
Oh, let's go!
That's okay. That's not great. That's not like what you're saying.
He's better than Cease.
He's a great pitcher. He's not better than Cease. He's not. That's the 2022 regular season. You want to know his career regular season ERA? 4.10.
Yes.
4.10.
Yeah. Better than Cease's career ERA of 3.50. Oh, never mind.
You buffoon.
Look, if we take out Cease's last season,
we take out Cease's last season. Same if we take out Drew Smyly's last season. his ERA would be significantly worse.
That's for sure. But I do feel like Smiley was also dealing with a ton of injuries, and I feel like he has breakout potential along with a lot of other Cubs pitchers, which I love.
Same with Sox pitchers. I mean, I think Kopech definitely has the potential to have, but I'm not saying a Cy Young year, but he could be a Cy Young candidate if everything goes right. But that's only if everything goes right. If he doesn't get injured, if he just has like a good rotation, if everything goes right, he could definitely have a Cy Young candidate year.
Think about it this way, right? We're
Yeah.
talking about underrated players. I would like to bring up no other than the professor. Your very young Kyle Hendricks.
Kyle Hendricks. Okay, let's take a gander at his stats. Let's see what we got here.
He
Kyle
pitched
Hendricks.
in the World Series in Game 7.
That was it 7 years ago. 7 years ago. You do realize that people change more than slightly in the time period of 7 years.
True, but
Let's look at his ERA. Oh man, 4.80. 4.80, a whip of 1.29, and a record last year of 4-6.
look, I feel like he's really underrated the last few years. In 2016, he had a 2.13 ERA.
Mm-hmm.
In 2020, he had a 2.88 ERA.
Okay.
He is 3.46 ERA for his career. Cease is 3.56. But yeah, you're saying Cease should have been on the All-Star team last year, and Hendricks.
For sure, he should have been on the All-Star team. He was.
Then why isn't
Everybody agrees
Hendricks
he
on the
was a
All-Star
snub.
team?
Everybody agrees he was a snub.
Why isn't Hendricks on the All-Star team?
Because he had an ERA of 4.80, you doofus. Cease had an ERA of 2.20. That's like Kyle Hendricks more than doubled his ERA.
That's true, kind of actually. I mean, it's like true. I mean, yeah, I guess that's true.
And Cease was a nominee for the Cy Young Award, which McClanahan took because McClanahan's awesome, and honestly, I think McClanahan deserved that award.
Gotcha. Well, do we have any more things that we would like to talk about before ending the stream and this first ever a podcast divided episode?
I got nothing besides watch out for Crosstown because it's definitely going to be interesting.
Oh, one other thing. On the next episode, we will be discussing the World Baseball Classic. So stay tuned for that.
Stay tuned.
And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. Anything else you got? Or?
Nothing much. I just want to say that the Sox are better than the Cubs. Sorry, I got a frog in my throat. All right, I think that's all I got to say. Hope y'all enjoyed, and go White Sox.
Let's go. Yeah, go Cubs. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and
comment, share.
Comment. Any questions, we will definitely answer questions on a stream. So if you ever have any questions, just comment in the chat. And or in the comment section if you're watching this as a long video. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching, and go Cubs!
Go White Sox.